Frankie, race 3 is only a small field this Saturday afternoon, but you've got a couple of the runners. If I could start with Beauty Live, you back him up again quickly, but that was a really good run last time we saw him.
Yes, you can see last time 1400, he come from really second last and then strongly. So I think he need to step up to 1600.
What would you have done with him since then, Frankie? Obviously, it's not that great a period of time since he last run. Is he an easy horse just to keep on the go and get him back to the races?
Yeah, he's very easy to keep on because I know he just raced on last Sunday and then only a few days. But I think he looks okay, eating well, yeah.
He goes up in trip, Frankie, to a mile. He's only ran over the 1600 once, but that was a really good run last March. Are you confident that this is his trip now going forward?
Yeah, of course. I think it's no problem. You can see last time he come very strongly, so I think 1600 now is the best distance for him. Yeah.
And all of his form around some really good horses and some really strong races. So I guess as far as form's concerned, he certainly has claims in this race.
Yeah. You see last season. Before I think about maybe he can go to that 4-year-old series, but maybe the weighting a little bit low. So I just keep it and try this season again to see he can go in at another level or not.
It's interesting. I mean, just with that in mind, I mean, he's got a rating of 85. Do you have a sort of target in mind with him? Because if he does win this and perhaps go on again beyond that, he's going to get his rating up there to a figure that might just allow him to compete in those better races. Have you got a plan with him?
At this moment, no. Let me have a look this Saturday, how he won. I think 1600 should be okay, and maybe I hope he can just go up another level, yeah.
You've also got All for St Paul's in the race. Wanted to ask you about him, of course. Last time out, not being overly fine, the packing treadmill race. He's a really honest type of horse.
Yeah, this one very honest, and you can see very easy to ride. So this time I just put Matthew Poon on, and he ride a few times already. So to see.
He led last time. I know he hasn't perhaps necessarily got to lead, but would that be the plan with him again, to perhaps try and go forward and stretch one or two of them?
Yeah. He will try to lead in front, yes.
He finished upsides Keefe last time out. There wasn't much between them at the line, so that form's pretty good as well.
Yeah.
2 decent chances, Frankie, in the race.
I hope so.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Frankie Stand Up is a horse who's gone very close in his last few starts. He's running well, but I imagine he's been a little bit frustrating for you also.
Yes, this time you can see draw 12. Not easy. I will talk to Hugh, Bowman to see.
He's a horse that you've trialled recently on the turf. Now, talk me through that decision, because all of his race form has been much better on the dirt, but he trialled well on the turf recently.
Yeah. Usually he looked like a dirt looks better, but turf still okay. Yeah.
Just as far as his racing's concerned, are you sort of surprised that he hasn't raced better on the turf? He
have a few times finished second on the dirt, so I just keep on the dirt first. Try to win the race for the owner first.
They certainly deserve it. And you mentioned obviously Hugh Bowman will ride drawn gate number 12. I guess if overcoming those factors, then he certainly puts himself right there, doesn't he?
Yeah, the horse will usually jump fast to see what we can do it. Yeah, because when you get the outside draw, a little bit difficult. Yeah.
Ricky Hugh, excellent fighter, was very good on his debut. We're going to see him again on Saturday. How impressed were you with that first up win?
Whatever was expected, he ran well. I mean, even though with a bit of interference, he still managed to win. There was a good effort for the horse. That just keep improving after the run.
And all of what he'd shown you in trials and track work leading up to that debut, you and the team were fully confident that he could do that first time out?
Oh, we were expecting him to do well. We've seen his trial. All his trials been good.
How's he been since then, Ricky? You've got a new jockey this time in and you have trialled him.
Yes, I mean, he's one of the good jockeys in Hong Kong. Should run well again, especially with De Silva.
He's drawn gate 11 now. Traditionally, you want to be sort of nearer that stands rail. I guess you can't really complain about where he's drawn, given that that might just sort of take bad luck out of the equation, possibly.
To me, 1,000 meter drawn 11 is quite a good draw.
Yeah.
Pretty good draw. No complaint, as you say.
Yeah, the handicap has not been overly tough on you as well. He's only put him up a pound. Looks a winnable sort of race, doesn't it?
Yes, it's still class 4. Yes, because he only won by a short margin. That's why.
Just on one or two of your other runners in the stable, I want to ask you about Voyage Bubble. He was very good recently. How has he come out of that race?
100%. He seems that he hasn't had a run after the race. He'll run well again, in the classic mile.
And just on Mighty Stride, I noticed he's been up to Chung Fa. How is he doing that horse?
Yeah, a little bit of a setback in Chung Fa, but he's still doing well. At the moment, we don't have any plan for him, but he's a horse on his way up.
Certainly is. Just a really nice team of horses at the moment, Ricky, in the stable this season. They're all running really well.
Yeah, a lot of the youngsters, it seems that they're performing. Yeah.
Well, hopefully this guy can come forward again on Saturday. Good luck with him.
Definitely hope so. Thank you.
Hugh, Forerunner, did a pretty good job on debut, I imagine. That was the first time you would have sat on him. Impressed by that win?
I was impressed. He gave me a good feel. He's a horse that still lacks a little bit of physical strength, so there's good improvement in him. But he's a very sensible horse. He did everything beautifully. He had a good draw, which he's got the advantage of again. So, there's no reason why he can't come out and win, lose or draw, go better than he did first up.
The nature of the performance, Hugh, he got himself a way back and obviously had to sort of weave his way through horses. I guess if there was a perfect introduction per se, I guess that was nearly it, 'cause he would have learnt plenty.
Yeah, he did, but he's a horse that he's got a few gears, and I would suggest he's got a few rating points up his sleeve. So obviously you'd like to think he's going to improve on what he did, but he did everything really well. Got to the front easily. I thought he idled a bit when he got to the front. So yeah, it's all upside for him, and with the advantage, as I said, of a good draw, he should get a really nice run once again.
I get having those points up his sleeves, potentially he might just need them. He's gone up £8, but you're confident he can carry that forward?
Well, I thought it was a pretty dominant win, and I'm still learning about the rating system myself, so I'm as interested as everyone else to see how he does progress from his first up run, but I thought he had a bit up his sleeve.
Form looks good. The runner-up won next time out as well.
Yeah, he did, and so it's a nice race, but in saying that, he had a very good run. It was a really good rhythm he got into. He came through, didn't have to go around any horses, and he did let down very well, but he didn't have to work too hard for it. So let's hope the same thing happens.
Stays at 1,400 metres. Do you think that's his trip for the time being?
I think, he proved first up, but I can see him getting over further. I think he'll be very effective over a mile and possibly even a bit further, but it's a good distance range to be comfortable at here in Hong Kong, and opens up a lot of options for him.
Jamie, race 10 on Saturday. You introduce a newcomer to Hong Kong in the shape of Magniac, who's been doing all his winning in Western Australia. What can you tell us about him since you've had him?
He's a nice type of horse. He's got a bit of size and scope about him, which I think's important for here. He's a horse that, as you say, came out of Perth through Apollo and Ensham, and he's had 4 trials. He's trialled up well. We've been happy with his progress. He's only a young horse. He's still only a 3-year-old, which is difficult when they're kicking off in Class 3 like this as a PP. But we're happy with him. He's got a good draw. Sylvester's going to ride him, so he's got a few things in his favour.
Formerly with Trevor Andrews over in Western Australia. Now, he won those races as a 2-year-old, so he seemingly was quite an early type. Has he given you that impression now into his 3-year-old year?
Well, as I say, he's a 3-year-old, but when you see him in the mounting yard, you wouldn't be surprised to say he's a 4-year-old. So he's got a bit of size and scope and strength about him. He's not one of those short little weedy 2-year-olds that come here and don't fire up. I think he's got a bit of upside about him. So it's a starting point. Obviously, PPs don't have a great record first up, but it's a pretty hot field. It's going to be hard to beat Beauty Eternal, but I think he'll run a nice race, and the more he does, he'll continue to improve.
All 6 runs in Australia with a visor. I guess that was just a logical decision to put it on here as well?
Yeah, it's sort of hard when you're getting to know a horse and then you're going to run him first up without something that he's used to running with. So we trialled him in it, and he trialled up well in it, so we just left it on, yeah.
Got gate number 1 as well. I guess for an introduction, that's perhaps a good place to be, or in some cases maybe not. What's your impression of the take on that?
Well, he's a leader or outside leader in Perth. He's a front marker, so I'd probably like to see him ridden for a little bit of cover. Don't like them to sort of lead and stop first start here. We've had a couple that do that. It's not a good look. So hopefully hopefully we can just get a nice run up on the speed somewhere handy, and hopefully he can run a nice race. But whatever he does on the weekend, he will improve on.